So, when I bought this house, it was with the agreement that I would take the house with everything that was left behind by the previous owner, as I discussed in other videos, and, you know, I have no problem with that because you never know what treasures might be left behind. Well, anyway, fast forward 2-3 months, however long I've been here, and I forgot about this toolbox. This is a Kennedy Machinist toolbox that was in the garage, sitting right here when I bought the house, and I never really looked in it. I tried opening it, and I couldn't get it open, and that was it. So, further ado, let's try to open it. Bought the house November 24th, 23rd maybe? 22nd, and it's now, what is it, January? I never got this box open to see what was in it. Now we're going to see. These are actually very nice toolboxes when they're in better shape. This is a machinist box. My father owns one. He is a machinist, so he actually has one of these in very nice shape. I don't know what these are, but they're mine now. What the hell is this? Don't know what that is. Could be drugs. Could be, I don't know. What do we got here? A wrench. And a drawer divider. See how the box drawers are felt lined? Yeah, it's for Precision Instruments. One drawer left. What's in here? Nothing. Don't know what that is. We got some super glue. Copyright 1994, Hartford, Connecticut. Piece of paper and a burr. Or whatever. This is not folded or anything like that. So there we go. Merry Christmas to me. That's not even usable anymore. Okay, mystery solved. There's nothing of any value in this Kennedy toolbox. Do I have a name? Ooh, somebody engraved their name in there. Let's see if we can angle the light. Let's see if I can get it to, it says Flare. Let's see here. I can't tell. It does say Flare. Flare. F-L-A-R-E. Not Clark, not... Well, okay then. That's fun. Any other markings, engravings, scratchings? No, nothing to that effect. Well, there it is. The Kennedy Toolbox of Mysteries. Kennedy. You know, I should have hawked the damn thing in the dumpster while I had the chance. What do we got here? There's another. Careful. Careful. You know, I gotta say, I don't know any of you guys follow Hoovie's Garage. But Tyler Hoover of Hoovie's Garage just picked up a Miata. And it's the talk of YouTube right now. He bought a 1990 with 32,000 miles on it in mint condition. He paid $5,600 for it. Now, okay, I paid more than that. I paid way more than that for my 94. I mean, I feel a little jilted by it, but then again, you know, the price of a car is what the person is willing to pay for it. and I paid a lot more than he paid for his. And mine has had some paint work done. Doesn't appear to have ever been any major collisions or anything, but it's had paint work done. It's been reupholstered, and it has 54,000 miles, or it had 54,000 when I bought it. But then again, mine's also a package C, so, it was a little higher trim level, but damn, that's a good value. $5,600. I mean, of course, the 94 does have a lot of improvements over the 90, so, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, as they say. Mine doesn't have the infamous short nose crank. It doesn't have the lack of chassis stiffening, and it's got the seatbelt tower brace and everything. That's all the improvements. But yeah, you see a video like that, and you're like, damn it, Janet. I mean, did I get a great deal on this car? Man, hell no. But I didn't care. I bought the car because I liked it. It was the right Miata in the right area at the right time. And that's usually what it is when it comes to buying property, automobiles. It's often, especially a special interest or classic car, it's all about being in the right place at the right time. And, well, I got a gem, but I certainly paid for it. So, and with the house, I got this house for below market value. I mean, but it needed work. It still needs work. Wasn't even livable when I bought it. Now it is. But, that's how life is. It's being in the right place at the right time. This toolbox could have had $1 million in cash sitting, stuffed in somewhere, but I don't have that kind of luck. This toolbox was clearly owned by a bicycle enthusiast. Oh wait, I got some tire irons and a nice chisel. Look at that! I actually could use that. Put these in my toolbox. Dowie dat. Chrome vanadium. Well, that was my nice find. This doesn't even fit in there. What kind of cheap shit is that? Anyway. So yeah, after watching Tyler Hoover's video, I'm like, damn it. Well, you know what? I'm happy with the car I got. It's not a scratch on it, and no rust, no scratches, original top, no tears, no rips. I can't complain, but it's like $5,600. I won't say what I paid for mine. I've already told you. Well, you know what I'm saying. But seriously, though, I did pay a lot more than he paid. I'm gonna put my chisels. Put a chisel in there. Free tools, right? Came with the house. Ooh, careful. Close them doors, otherwise. Oh, this hose must have got something blocking it. What the hell? Oh, right. Aha! That'll do it. So why don't we do a walkthrough of the whole house, and we'll talk about what's been done, what's got to be done, and see where things stand. And we're going to come back to the garage. I'm going to blab on and on because they already filmed that part of this video. So let's do a walkthrough and see what kind of progress I have or haven't made, and what's yet to be done. Okay, let's take a walk. So this is the Breezeway. I've featured this in a number of update videos. And this room right here, we really don't have a solid plan for yet. It's not a priority. It's more of an entryway at this point. We've got these old jalousie windows which were installed probably shortly after the house was built. Although I did discover a set of mid-century styled screens which would have originally been in these openings, like removable screens, and they would have had maybe some glass panels as well. But for convenience and modernization, they had the openings refitted with these jalousie windows, which I hate with an all-consuming passion. Nothing screams trailer park like jalousie windows. And having grown up in a trailer park, I can say that without being racist. But anyway, so I've already had to make a few repairs out here. These outlets, both of these outlets, were stone dead. The corrosion was so bad on the terminals that they no longer conduct electricity. So out they went, and came these. And this one is switched to an outlet, or I'm sorry, to a switch on the in the kitchen, and that controls. Well, what used to be a light mounted right here on the wall, one of those swing arm style lights that you'd find in like grandma's house. Well, that's what was here, and it was plugged into that socket right there. So I just, did my thing and got rid of that sucker. And this is a pendant light that you can get at Walmart for like $12, and I fitted it with an Edison bulb, because hipster, and that's providing. Actually, it looks really fitting out here. In fact, I think it belongs here. You'll notice the ceiling is wet, and that's because, see that brown stuff? That is, from my experience, that is nicotine. This was more than likely a popular destination for smoking, and that's what it does. It builds up a film which is somewhat water soluble, and as soon as moisture hits the walls or the ceiling, and begins to do that. So that'll be fun. The reason this room is every surface in here is wet is because we've had extremely cold temperatures over the past couple of days. Today it just decided to be 45 to 50 degrees out. New England. That's just life in New England. So it's all over look at this humidity, condensation. I mean, it's everywhere. So when I paint these walls, I'm going to have to, during the ceiling, I'm going to have to use a paint that is, suitable for outdoor conditions. As for the walls, I'm going to blast out both walls and reframe them with some insulated windows. I'm going to do a sliding glass door on this side, and I'm going to do possibly a French door on this side. I haven't decided yet, but it'll be a usable sun porch / gathering place for guests and family. But that's the idea. And out here, and we're going to talk a little bit about this when I get down to the basement, but there's going to be a patio here made out of blocks, patio blocks. Eventually, I'm going to get rid of this dishwasher, and this light fixture is supposed to go into the dining area at some point. I should bring this into the basement, get it out of the moisture, so that it doesn't rust. That'll be good. It's a nice quality fixture. We got that used for free, so eventually that'll go in the dining room. But that's cookie dough. Amelia made that, and she's keeping it out here to keep it cool until she bakes them tomorrow. So anyway, yeah, dishwasher. Got to get rid of this somehow. But yeah, these jealousy windows are doing nobody any favors, and I can't wait to get rid of them. But I got other projects, other more pressing issues to deal with, and we're going to talk a little bit about those. So let's walk through and continue on. Real quick, I'm going to be doing the floor here, and I already know what I'm going to do. It'll be I'm going to do that weathered plank tile that seems to be gaining popularity, and it's a concrete pad, so it's a good candidate for some nice tile, and I think I can do some budget grade plank look tile. I think it'll look nice. Maybe build a nicer step here other than the blocks. I mean, those are nice blocks, but I'm thinking of repurposing those blocks down to the basement when I have the furnace replaced. The new furnace will have to go on blocks, and those are blocks. If you're wondering what all this is, funny story. I got a new toilet, obviously. This is the old one. I was going to replace it anyway because it was the wrong style for the bathroom. It just didn't belong there. It was a very, how can I put this in words? that aren't offensive to some people. Okay. The one that was installed by the previous owner is the absolute cheapest model you can buy from either an orange store or a blue store. Don't know which one. But it was the absolute bottom of the barrel bargain basement toilet. The one you put in your rental property because the tenants are complaining that the toilet doesn't work. And you just want to get the job done. That was 10 years ago. Because every toilet, I don't know if you guys know this, every toilet has the production date stamped in the back. And this one was made in 2007. Well, it was working fine. I never bothered to deal with it. The inspector didn't say anything about it. And, it was working okay until it wasn't. And it was starting to leak internally. So when the toilet continues to run, usually means it needs some service. So I'm like, all right, well, I've rebuilt many toilets before, even in rental property that my family once owned, and not a big deal. So I take the tank cover off. I was going to replace the sucker anyway because I'm doing the floor over, and if I'm going to take it up, I might as well put the right one in there, right? So I started taking a look at what was going on. And there's a column, a plastic column that comes straight up from the bottom of the upper tank, and it actually mounts in from the other side, so you have to remove the tank to take this piece off. Anyway, it was broken. It had been broken for many years, probably, and due to many improper repairs and adjustments. I noticed that the float had been bent several times by the previous occupants. It had zip ties connecting the handle to the hell is that thing called? But anyway, this valve here, this valve that they have. Anyway, so it was just, in other words, it would need a complete rebuild, and a complete rebuild kit, which isn't really that expensive. You're looking at $30 in parts tops. But I decided, you know what? I've got to pull this whole thing apart and replace all these parts. I might as well buy a fixture that looks proper in the bathroom, and that's exactly what I did. How do you get rid of an old toilet when you live in the city and the town dump is only open when you're not available? Well, you bust it up into little pieces like this, and then you throw a little bit every week into the trash until it's gone. Right? That's what I'm going to do. And that's so actually originally I didn't intend to break the damn thing, but what happened was I had it on my two-wheeler cart, right? And I'm wheeling it out in here and had it sitting here for a little bit. I went into the house, closed the door. I'm like, I'll deal with it later. There was a snowstorm coming in. I'm like, I don't want to deal with this. I had the new one set up, and I heard this loud crash. I'm like, what the hell could that be? Well, it didn't take me more than 5 seconds to figure out what it was. I'm like, crap, the toilet fell over and smashed all over the place, and sure enough. So I just finished the job with a sledgehammer, but you can see where it hit my table. Just scuffed the crap out of the table. This is a family heirloom, and it's sitting out here of all places, but yeah, ruined my table. Stupid freaking toilet. But anyway, so I got a new toilet out of the whole deal, and got to tear the floor apart in February. We'll talk a little bit about that as we move along. Let's go. And that's the light switch that controls it. The kitchen is just about done, with the exception of the floor. Not sure where we left off video-wise, but I did paint the entire kitchen. I found this color. It's called Mellow Spring, and I happen to think that it works really well with the retro theme I'm going with, or the classic mid-century American kitchen look that I'm kind of going for. The decision was made to wash and keep these curtains. That Amelia put that there. I did not put that there, I swear to God. We decided to keep these curtains because, they're in perfect condition. They're definitely antique. We don't know if they're original or not. We don't know for sure, but I suspect that they are. They've definitely been in this kitchen before and taken down, stuffed in the attic for decades, and here they are again. What's old is new again. But anyway, so yeah, I got this, the walls done. Made the repairs that I needed to where I needed to. I missed that one spot right there. Oh well. Countertop. This is the IKEA Hamarp countertop, and I'll show you where the other half of it went. I bought a large, I think like a 6-foot slab, and I just cut what I needed, sanded the edges down. I put some linseed oil on there, and boom, countertop. That was actually a suggestion from one of my viewers, who, if you're watching this, thank you very much. That was the least expensive solution I could find that solved all of my problems. I didn't want to rip up these countertops so that I could have, a matching countertop on either side. I didn't want to tear this up at all. In fact, I'm considering leaving these indefinitely because they're not in terrible shape except for that one spot right there. But I kind of like the yellow countertop look. It's kind of growing on me. But the butcher block countertop is kind of like a cheat code in home renovation speak. Because with the butcher block countertop, it is a functional piece all on its own. And you can use a butcher block countertop with other counter surface materials. It works well with, as we have here, a Formica countertop or a laminate countertop. It also works well with stone, cultured stone, all the other different materials, because you can chop directly on it. It is a functional piece. We're not using it as a cutting board, but that is definitely a selling feature. Does it have a built-in butcher block? Yes, I can check that box off. Not loving the glass ceramic or the glass top stove. I have to clean this sucker every day, and it's already gotten scratched once or twice. Oh, that's just something I gotta see anything that's sugary. You gotta take it off before it bakes on, because once it does, it becomes glass, baked on glass. It's like whoever came up with this should be fired. But anyway. But yeah, this is the kitchen. The floor, I will do the floor maybe in a year or two. I'm not planning on doing anything with this floor just yet. This is an asbestos tile, and right now I'm leaving it alone. It serves a purpose. I cleaned it up. I put a few coats of wax on it. Actually looks pretty good. It's presentable. It's functional. It does the job. Asbestos was a wonderful material for a lot of reasons, and it holds up pretty well. It's got a few cracked tiles over here, because I believe this area here is where the most temperature fluctuations were taking place, so it stressed the tile out a little bit. What can you do? I have to replace 2 of these. These are the pilot light style switches. This is for the basement. The pilot light's burned out, and the attic one as well. I'm going to just get the modern replacements for these and be done with it. I took the Fasco fan apart, cleaned it up, lubricated the motor. This thing was absolutely disgusting when I bought the house, but it's all fixed up, running great. Repainted it, repainted the fan blades and the frame so that it looks half decent now. And I also added these sort of circa 1950s style, 40s, 50s cabinet handles. They're a close match to what was here originally, as close as I can get from the local hardware store without custom ordering anything out of the catalog. But they work. Pretty much finished off the living room. There really wasn't a lot to do in here for the first. All we did was paint it, or just painted the walls, contrasting colors. Well, sort of. There's actually 3 colors there: white, light gray, dark gray. And depending on the lighting, you can't notice it. At another time, I might come back and repaint one of these walls darker, like I'm thinking this one, but that's not even on the radar right now. Used the fireplace for the first time this weekend. Actually had a chimney sweep come over and give it a once over, clean it, whatever. Expecting a bill, of $100 or more, and after he did his thing, he's like, "Okay, chimney's fine." I'm like, "Okay, what do you mean? Did you got to clean it?" He's like, "Nope, chimney's fine, just not in need of any cleaning, and there are no condition issues at all. It's in perfect condition. Light it up." I'm like, "Great, what do I owe you?" And he's like, "Nothing." Okay. Folks, that kind of a chimney sweep is a keeper. I will be hiring him again to do the cleaning at the end of the season. So, bravo for honest, hard-working people. You don't really find that you don't find that very often these days. But the chimney was fine, so this weekend we lit up first fire, and I cleaned the fire brick before I lit the chimney, or before I lit the first fire. It was beautiful. This thing cleans up nice. But after one or two fires, it's already black again, so I'm going to have to clean it again, probably at the end of the season, so it'll be clean all summer. I'm burning the wood that came with the house, and I'm lighting it with fat wood. This stuff is great. It's an all-natural byproduct of the forestry industry. And what it is, it's actually a resinous, here we go, here's a piece of it. It's a resinous wood that's cut from dead trees. So the resin sinks to the bottom of the tree trunk towards the center, and that's where they find this. It's has a turpentine smell, because that's what turpentine comes from, and it's like boiled out of this fat wood. But this stuff here, it lights fires like nobody's business. And because this wood is so old and dry, it just, boom, it lights nicely. And I only need about maybe 3 or 4 of these sticks. I just stick them between the logs, light them up like candles, and they just get the fire going. So I haven't had any issues lighting fires here. But I'm going to tell you about all the mistakes I made, and I made every one of them. So mistake number 1, I didn't have my air intake window open far enough, so I started getting a lot of smoke in the house. After about an hour or so of my first fire, set off 3-4 smoke alarms. So that happened. The second thing was I wasn't I was stoking the log, rotating the logs, moving them around to get more flame out of them. And some sparks, came out while I had the screen open, and I was here. And I grabbed the broom over here, and I started sweeping stuff back into the fireplace, and I missed one burning ember. One ember. Burned my floor. But not so bad. I mean, it is what it is. When I go to refinish the floor, which is why I'm glad I didn't do it yet, I'll take care of that. You're supposed to grind it down to clean wood, and if needed, you can put a wood filler in there and then shellac over it or whatever, but that happened. So, on a side note, these andirons are actually brass. So somebody repainted these for some stupid reason. These are brass. Who does that? They came with the house. I don't know how old they are, but I assume they're pretty old. The paint's just flaking off of them. But there you go, fireplace. And the second mistake I made, this is a big one. This could have actually been deadly. What happened was, at the end of our first day using the fireplace, we let it burn down to just a couple of glowing coals, and I stirred them around, and I'm like, well, it's going to get cold tonight, so why don't I close the flue or the damper? This thing here, this isn't a closed position right now. If you light this fire, it'll smoke out the whole house. So you push it up. Here, let's take a look at that real quick. this is how you open the damper. This is how you close it. Simple enough, right? Yeah. Word to the wise. If you're extinguishing a fire, you just kind of let it, kind of glow overnight. But do not close that damper until it is completely cool to the touch. Because I set my brand new carbon monoxide detector off, and 57 parts per million at its highest reading. Lesson learned. Let's take a look at the chimney. I wonder how the camera gets it. Let's see. See if we can get a look at that clay liner. Zoom up there. You said there were cobwebs. I think I see one right there. But he didn't see any cracks or any conditional problems. Of course, it has to be daylight out to really see anything, but he didn't seem very concerned. So, anyway, so let's close that now. One of the nice features that this fireplace has is an ash pit. There's a door under the logs that opens up, and you can sweep the ashes right into the ash pit down in the cellar. But so I definitely use that. All right, let's move on. And the dying embers of the evening's fire glow perpetually in infamy, or for infinity. Could put another log on for the night, maybe not. No, I'll just let that burn out. It is generating a small amount of heat. The thermometer in the hallway is about 2 degrees above set point for the furnace, so at least it's doing that much. Alright, so what do we got down here? So, one of the projects that I tackled last weekend was the basement lighting. If you recall, this basement only had 3 lights. And then there was a jury-rigged fluorescent light above the laundry area. And that light is sitting over there. Gotta throw that away. So yeah, the basement lighting was definitely an issue. It was too dark down here to really do anything. So I went out and I bought some new fixtures and some electrical boxes or ceiling mount fixture boxes and some Romex and did my thing. So what I did is I ran new lights where they were needed. So this is a new fixture, and then the one over here on the end is a new fixture. That one over there, and that one over there. And I have them all running off of this fixture on the very end over here, because that was the only one down here that ran off the light switch. Everything else was constant power. Kind of stupid, I guess. So, as it is right now, if you hit that light switch, all the lights go off except for these pull chain ones. There's one here, one there. So, yeah, all of the lights go off except for those two. Now, those I actually left alone because, well, I don't want to run new wire into these boxes. Just leave them alone, right? They already work. But you can leave these on if you decide to, So I leave at least one light on at all times. Usually this one here. So that way, if you can come down the stairs, enter the basement, or come in this door when this door is finally replaced, and there'll be a light on. So it makes things a little bit safer. But this one I only turn on when I need it. And that's it. But also, this fixture box is a junction box. It serves as a junction box on the living room circuit, so kind of don't want to tear that out either. So yeah, I mean, we're getting things settled in. I picked up a drill press and a table saw. Got these from Amelia. I think it was her great uncle owned these before he passed away. The drill press does not work. I have to fix it, and it's got this jig here that Can't figure out how it mounts to this plate or if it's from another tool altogether. But anyway, this is one of the mouse traps I found in the wood pile. So yeah, I've been burning a lot of wood lately. And I've burned about half of my wood supply already. It took me 2 days. The stuff burns very fast. I think it's pine and birch. So yeah, it's burning rapidly. And once I get all this cleaned up, I can start working on sealing the basement wall and, you know, fixing my rotted floor joist and all the other great fun things I have to do this summer. But I will be resurfacing this wall with UGL Drylock. I'm going to do white or gray. I haven't decided which. And we'll put some... I'm going to put a firewood rack, maybe right here, or somewhere safe, and put some shelving, maybe a bench, a workbench. I'm going to put outlets on this wall. I'm going to run a... I was going to take that GFI circuit right there, and I'm going to rerun that circuit along this wall in conduit, and then I'll put a couple of quad boxes, maybe 1, 2, 3, along the wall. So we'll have some power down here where needed. Another thing I need to do is I need to put in some new basement windows. I actually taped these up because they were all very drafty. I just found out that Lowe's actually sells a perfect replacement hopper window for these. It actually comes with nail fins. You're supposed to cut the nail fins off and slide it in, shim it, seal it, nail it, or, you know, concrete or masonry drill bit. You know what I'm saying. I'm just getting late and tired. Still have this leak here. This is something I'll be fixing in the spring. Need to dig down because the door sill, or what was a door sill, or door jamb, sorry. Threshold, thank you. My threshold is at grade. So you can imagine it's kind of causing some problems. So if I put a new door here, it's just going to rot away. So I've got to fix that problem. That's a big problem. And so I sealed the door up as well. I'm not really using this door for anything right now, so I sealed it up for the winter, and then we'll deal with it later. As for oil consumption, it has gone down. In other words, I'm not burning as much oil as I was the first month since I insulated the attic, and I did a lot of other little things here and there, like sealing up these windows and sealing up the door and sealing up the ductwork. It actually hasn't burned as much oil as it was. I had this thing filled up on the 5th of January. It is now the 23rd, so that's not terrible. Because in the first month, from December 5th to January 5th, I burned half a tank. So we're doing better than we were. But we still have a ways to go, and I think the new windows all around, you know, and other fixes here and there will make that much better. And then once I get that all under control, you know, then I can put in a new furnace. The thing is, if I put in a brand new furnace, I'm going to thrash the hell out of it, you know, in my first couple of years, if I don't make all those other improvements to the energy efficiency. I also need to seal up my sill joist. And sill joist. My rim joist. Thank you. I'm going to pick up a couple of, we call them froth packs. I believe it's made by Dow Chemical. And it's basically a spray insulation. And you just spray it into each bay. Gives you like an R value of like maybe 5 or 10 or something. And what that does is it stops the ice cold air coming in from the outside through thermal conductivity of the rim joist, which has no insulation on either side of it. That cold air makes the outer edges of the floor icy cold. So I'm going to get some of that, but I want to do a lot of other stuff before I start insulating my rim joist. Mainly I want to fix up all this stuff here, get all these water intrusion problems taken care of, and that's going to be that. The froth pack is quite expensive. It's like $350 and that'll do maybe half the basement. So that's going to be a little pricey, but I think the payoff in the end will be well worth it. Got to do some plumbing. You can see that these are a little damp. Actually, this one, yeah, a little damp. So these are actively leaking, these valves here. What I want to do, I mean, it's not dripping, it's just seeping enough to cause corrosion. And it's not getting any better. They're all like that. I'm going to have to replumb probably the whole house. But I'm going to do it one section at a time. You know, one disaster at a time, one section at a time. At some point I'll have the street valve shut off so I can replace. I might actually just have to hire a plumber to do this to make it all legal and safe. But I have to have the street cock shut off so I can replace the main water valve. But one of the neat things that my city offers is you can insure your water line from breakage. That water line could cost many thousands of dollars to replace, but for $75 a year, I don't have to worry about it. So, this is my roof. In case you're wondering how the roof is going. My roofer, he didn't walk off the job, but he didn't finish. That's for damn sure. He's not done. He said he'll come back in the spring. I have his ladders in my backyard locked up, so I don't think he's going to abandon those. But he did say that, you know, the weather's getting pretty bad, and he had a bit of some issues with the guy that he was working with, and who was once a childhood friend of mine, ironically. He had some issues there, so he said, you know what, I'll finish it in the spring. I'll put all your stuff in the basement where it's nice and warm and safe, and we'll see you then. I'm like, well, okay. If he doesn't finish, all I have to do is the garage and breezeway. And the fact that I paid him for the whole job. My mistake. He's a family friend. I'm thinking he'll do the job. He won't screw me. But word to the wise, never. And I heard this. Everyone's saying, "Oh, don't hire family. Don't hire family," or people you know. You know, they were right. He does fantastic work. Fantastic work. The guy's a perfectionist. But you know, what can you do? So I mean, he said he'll finish it. So I'm gonna just pretend that I trust him and see how that goes. But it's kind of a sore subject, actually. But I know how to do a roof. So if he doesn't follow through or something happens or whatever, I'm going to go up there and do it myself. I mean, it's only the breezeway in the garage. It's not a big deal. It's the whole house is done. I mean, the main house is done, but you know, there's that. I haven't really done anything with the computer room, but I did build. I think I mentioned I would talk about this. I did actually build this bench here. This is the leftover section of the countertop. And I framed this out with, let me show you what I used. So down on this wood pile, I had two 2x4s that were set up as, they had hooks in them. Like they were either used as a clothesline or they were used to hang things. Maybe nailed up somewhere. Don't know where. But I saw that as a good source of lumber, so I chopped them up. And I made the frame. Didn't cost me a dime. Painted it up with some white trim paint, and there we are. Instant bench. So yeah, this is leftover countertop material. This is pretty good and stable, good and strong. Not going to go anywhere. I didn't cut it with any level of precision, but it works. It's straight and level. That's all that matters. And that's where the 575 is sitting right now. This machine has suffered some damage from the move. A little bit of breakage there, but what can you do? Kind of upsets me a little bit, but she's home. Yeah, taped up these windows too. This window here, I'm going to probably replace with a glass block system. I'm pretty sure putting a window here is just a waste of money and time, because this is where the patio is going. Eventually, I'm going to put a concrete patio on the other side, like in this section of the backyard. I really don't want a window there that can be open. There's just no need for that. We'll see. But yeah, I'm thinking of, for this one, for just this one, just do some glass blocks, and then this way I only have to buy one size window, and because these are all the same size, all the other ones. So that's what I'm thinking. See what happens. Glass blocks are also a lot cheaper than windows. So yeah, not a big deal. Anyway, that pretty much concludes our discussion for the day. I want to show you one more thing.